You have to reimagine Hi, Guruk. Hello, everyone.
Hi Nirsa, hi everybody. So let's start everyone this session in 1 or 2 minutes, right? Hello everybody. Uh, can we start this session now?
Ah, ah.
Can you hear me, everyone? Hi Priyanka, hi Samik, hi
Kali gala,
Chris.
action kali.
Yes,
Launch
Gaurav,
wala
I
hai.
can hear you.
Okay then, so let's start this session. Today, if possible, try to do with me. So you can clone the repository.
Ah,
Right, you
ah.
can clone the
Avdi
repository
na
from
nan
the
da.
GitHub. I think, yeah. Okay, thank you. So, and the code is within the different branch. It is not in the main branch, right? You can grab the code from there. If possible, try to do together with me today because I will assign you to add CSS yourself. I'll first provide you CSS in a different file, and you need to make CSS module for each and every JavaScript file. So let's start then. All right. Let me open. This is, let me open one browser on the right side and this on the left side. So let's add some CSS. There are already written CSS for this project that I'm taking. And you will have to put the locate those CSS in their files. For example, we have CSS for cards in cards.module.css, CSS for header for in header.module.css, right? CSS means to make this application looks attractive, right? We are decorating it. So let me first go to feedback app and start this project. Okay, it is started here. So let's first apply some CSS here. So I will attach CSS right here in this file in global CSS. So just a second. Okay, right here in the global CSS in this file, and you need to grab those CSS and put them in their respective files. All right. So let me grab all the CSS, because CSS, you need to first look at those CSS yourself, and then we will discuss some of the CSS used there. Like we will discuss something like Flexbox and Grid. It is using Flexbox only. So we'll discuss some things regarding CSS with Flexbox. But currently, I'm just providing you the pre-written CSS that you need to actually supply to each and every files. Okay, so let me let me paste all the CSS here. These are the CSS that are required for this application. So we haven't, these are global CSS. Now we will change the class in each and every files here and supply the CSS here. Okay, you can already see the background color is changed, because here you can see it is applied in body, and color is also changed. Here you can see it is applied as a white color. That's why you can see white color here. Font family, we took this from Google Font. We wrote this one yesterday. So added CSS are from here all the way down to here. So these are all the CSS required for each and every components located here. You can put the CSS and place them in respective component. So, but I'm directly going to apply the CSS to each and every component right now. Okay. So let me just comment this one so that you can get this CSS as well. And now let's go to the component. The first one is let's look at these components and apply the CSS from here then. So you can see we have CSS for card. This is like a global CSS, right? If you go here and just apply the CSS right here, we have style. Let me remove this style, and I want to apply we are receiving this busy color. Let me remove this one for now. Now we can apply the class name card, and that particular CSS from index.css will be used, right? Can you see? We have a card here. This is coming from here. This one, this CSS. Okay, we have a background color white here. That's why it is white. We have font color, this grace color, right? And we have border radius, which is actually making this corner rounded. We have padding, that's why we have some space here. We have margin, that's why we have some space here. And we have position, which is relative. So position relative means inside there we can use position absolute. Actually, we have used yesterday, I think, right? So yeah, in this way we can use this CSS. So we use this CSS for card component. Let's add some other CSS as well. So um, we are receiving some props here, busy color, but we are not using it. Maybe if you don't need it, then you can remove it as well. Let's make it clean. We don't need styles right now. But now, what is your job? Your job is to grab this CSS from here got this CSS from here. This is what you need to do, okay? And put this CSS right here, and go here in card component and import it, and change the class name to styles.card, right? And this will do the same thing. So you need to put the CSS in their respective file. This is just an example. You can put the CSS for each and every files. Like, for example, if you want to apply this header, then see where is the header used. Maybe somewhere here, or if it is not used anywhere, then already it is not used anywhere, right? You need to locate it yourself as well. For example, this card reverse, maybe this may be used for card. Let me grab all of this from here and put this in the card component right here. These are the CSS. Okay, so we don't have S2 tag there. But the CSS is maybe the children contains the S2 tag, which are coming from there. See, and these are the children in the card component. This is using H1 tag. This is coming from card is used in different file. Let's go here first. It is used in feedback list, I think. Let me see. Yeah, right here, used here. And feedback list is rendering feedback, and let me make this as 2 and save it. Now it is using the CSS, I think, for us to see. Yeah, it is using the CSS for us to. So in this way, we can use this CSS, right? So what is this card reverse? So we have another reverse class. If there is a reverse class, then we will use background color, this one, and color this one. Maybe we can attach something called reverse. If that reverse is true, so let's apply our custom CSS here inside this div tag right here. If this reverse is going to be true, then we will apply CSS coming from here. I think this is not that much required, but already it is using the background color, all the things. But you can tweak depending upon the true and false value coming here and apply the CSS. But I'm going to remove it, right? Not required. But we can already add much CSS as we need, right? So this is just an example. So we are using CSS for card component inside card.module.css, which are located here. Okay, so what do you think? Can you apply, remove all the CSS from here, apply the CSS for each and every component? What do you think? Can you do that yourself? Now, for example, we have this CSS for feedback stat. Maybe you haven't used it, right? Let me provide you all the classes so that it will be easy for you to apply CSS in there for each and every component. Then try to apply the CSS. Okay. So let's go to this header component. Header component is accepting text, text color, and busy color. Okay. So header style here. We have a header tag here. So okay, header tag CSS is already written. Header styles is applied here, and we have class names. So maybe we have header.module.css and we have a container class here. Let me remove it from here because container class is already here. So let's use the CSS. And I'm going to directly write that container, but your work is to convert this to CSS module now. Okay. So for example, let me use this header somewhere, header component, maybe in the in app.jsx, right here. There. And let's plan something. Feedback app. Now, oh, it is using default. Let's go to header then. Header.jsx. And we haven't passed anything there. It is accepting text instead of rendering children. So we are not accepting children here, right? But we are passing children here. This is a children. Then we don't need to pass children because it is accepting another text prop. So we will pass it in text prop. Okay, now you can see feedback app. Here, it is also accepting background color, but background color is most of the time it is better to use the default one. Let me remove this red and add the color that is maybe located. Let's make it white, white, and text color to purple. Text color is not used. Okay, so it is using it, but text color is not used. I can write color to text color. Okay, now it is. So in this way, we can refactor this, right? Maybe this one, two. We are not adding any React functionalities here. We are just styling this application, making it looks better. All right. So this is all for header component. Let's go and see other components then, like feedback components. Let's go here. We have feedback starting from feedback list. Feedback, we have feedback rating as well, and feedback form as well. We have many things. Let's go to feedback list. So we are wrapping it with card here. You can see, and that's why it is in the card here. Right? You can wrap anything in card, and you'll see that in the card. So let's do. We are validating it, and we are rendering finally this feedback. So let's wrap this all, or we can also supply class here as well. Let's wrap this all in a div tag, and paste it here. Now let's supply class here. Maybe we have feedback list here somewhere. Feedback. Oh, let me search for list. We don't have feedback list class, then maybe we need to write some CSS, add some CSS. So no CSS is needed here. Then there is no CSS for feedback list. Maybe it's okay, or we can attach some CSS ourselves there. For now, it is okay for feedback list as well. Okay. Similarly, let's go to another component, feedback. Here we have this feedback component, and it is rendering feedbacks. So let me do one thing. Let me go to feedback list and remove this card. This div. Let's see. Okay, this is div, and let's go to feedback list and attach card here. So each and every feedback will be attached to card now. There is some issue now. Not working. Let's see what happens in there. There's some issue. So it says
The
card is not
closing card
defined.
tag, yeah. 14.
Card is not defined means we haven't imported it here.
Line number 15.
Line number 15. Is
Actually,
this
it's
not
fine.
correct?
No, it's fine, I think.
It's fine, right? Okay, now we have feedback in each and every card. We are using individual card. We are using card because it is mapped, right? Each and every feedback will use this card now. Okay. So yeah. So we are displaying text here. Maybe let's also display ratings because we also have ratings there, right? We have text. So maybe this one on the S2 ratings on the P tag, or let's do on the div tag. Whatever I'm doing here is not what you need to exactly follow. For example, you can use any other tags or you can use any other CSS and tweak this application. Okay. So this is just an example how we can use this application for us. So let's have this text class. Maybe we have something for text here. Let me close this all and open this CSS only. This is right. Text. Oh, we don't have any. We have nothing for text as well. Okay. Maybe we'll write some CSS then. We'll later write some CSS. Let's go and see something for rating for this here. Okay, we have something for rating. Then let's apply this rating class here. Class name. And this is just displaying the rating. These are number, right? Let's search for num. We have num display class here. Apply this class. Now you can see our ratings are displayed in this way. So because of this CSS here, because of this num display CSS that we're using here. Okay. I don't know why this is not searching. Okay, it's okay. So yeah, we have this num display CSS here as well. This CSS is used to display it because it is inside this card. Card is already using. You can see in card.module.css, it is already using position relative. That's why here we are once again using position relative. Later we will see position absolute as well. All right, everyone. So let's go here in the app section. We are rendering this header, feedback form, and feedback list. So maybe we can use some CSS from here as well. Maybe container. This one. Let's use this container here. Div class name equals. Now our container size will be small, right? It's not using div here. Okay, we have some margin here because container is containing some margin. It has some maximum width. It has some padding. If I increase this one, now it has maximum width. That's why it is not expanding from this breakpoint. Right? So any question until now, everyone?
Guruk, like we know about the global CSS conflict, and that's why we're using the module.css file. But as of now, we haven't put anything in the app.css file, right? So like since the app.css file is empty, there would be no such thing as the global CSS conflict, right? So would it also be fine if we just use the normal CSS file for each and every components?
Also fine for this project, but the good practice is to use CSS module instead of using only CSS.css. You can use header.css. It will also work. Yeah, you can first try it and convert it to header.module.css. For now, there is no global conflict. That's why you can safely use it. Maybe for general case, that is not a good practice. That's why we are using CSS modules here.
And Guruk, what is the a good use case for us to be using the app.css file? Because index.css file also seems to do the similar task there.
Yeah, app.css means CSS for app component, right? Seems to we are supposed to write CSS only for app component, but we can also write CSS for other component because that is also working like a global CSS. We already saw that. That's why CSS for each and every file components here. For example, we wrote for car component car.module. You can also write car.css here, header.css, feedback.css. Similarly, we can write app.css for app component. Not only for app, if you write CSS for card like car.css, that will act like a global CSS. So that's why if you just use the vanilla CSS, means .css extension only, then it will have a global conflict. Even though we are writing CSS here, this will also create global conflict. But we will not write CSS .css file anywhere else. We'll only write CSS in this file only. That's why this is like a global CSS. We'll not repeat CSS in the same file. That's why we are only creating index.css here. We are not creating app.css. If we need app.css, then we'll create app.module.css. Okay, you can treat index.css as app.css as well because it will supply global CSS from here as well.
Sounds good work. So that means we'd either use module.css or index.css, and both of them, either of them would do the same task, the global CSS.
Module will not supply global CSS. If you write app.module.css, that is only limited to app component. Yeah, if you write app.css only and import it into app component, then that will work like index.css here.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, but your structure of the application may be different. You may not always have app.jsx. Your structure may be different. For the current structure, we are rendering everything inside app.jsx component. That's why it is working like a global CSS if you have app.css there. Okay, so let's go here. Okay. I think it is better to have header from here to here, but that's fine. So there are other CSS. Just do hidden trial with this CSS, okay, yourself. And can you apply this CSS now for form as well as rating? We haven't applied CSS for feedback rating here and feedback form. Can you do it yourself? Can you try it first yourself? What you need to do is you can do any of the two way. You can do in any of two ways. First, you can directly go to feedback form and search for form here. Like, what is the CSS used for form? Just look at yourself. Maybe you can find somewhere there is no CSS name called form, but you can see input here. It means it is the CSS required for the input field somewhere in the form. Let's see. For example, you can directly attach class name equals input here and see on the output what is the CSS used. Currently, we don't see any CSS. Oh, this is the input itself. We don't need to write this class name because input is a tag actually. It is already used. So see here, this is not applied here for this input field. We have an input field here in the form and CSS here as well, but that is not applied. We have some CSS for close button here as well. Can you see? We have the CSS. Maybe you can go to that close button. It is located here. Now, if you remove this one and just write close here, that CSS from there will be used. Now you can see these buttons are in their respective position now. So can you just try applying the CSS for each and every component first, guys, yourself? What do you think? Can you do that? Can you apply existing CSS, all the CSS? For example, we have this button, right? You can go to button. Where is button? Here we have one button. You can apply the CSS BTN class here. Okay. Can I provide you some time and will you try yourself first? Or do you want to ask me something before?
Gorak, I have one small question.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Can you show me the card JSX? I couldn't get my card working here, and I want to see how did we implement it. Yeah, I think that's too strange.
Accepting children's here, supplying the CSS from the car.module.css.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna try working on the code.
Let me post this code.
Yes. One second.
So I post this code for the current code. You can just copy the existing CSS code or other code if it is not working from GitHub. And I think it will work.
Okay. Try that.
Yeah, everybody just try to supply CSS. Try to make this input looks better. Try to supply CSS for these remaining components like feedback form, feedback list. Try to use all the CSS. Your job is to remove this CSS from here. Most of the CSS from here. We have this CSS. Remove most of the CSS from here and put this CSS in their individual components, module.css file. Okay?
Okay.
This is what you need to do.
Thanks,
All right,
Gorak.
so let me wait for a few minutes. Just try to complete it. You can ask me some if you have some confusion in between. Okay. Okay, this code is in GitHub. You can just grab it from there. Yeah, I'm just muted. Just let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Please.
Yes, yes. So what I have done is I have tried it myself like yesterday during my leisure time. So I do get one like simple issue, not that big. I think I need to research on that more. But let me ask you first then. So what I did was like I created a like of new feedback for like form and like I on submit I clear the text field, right? So I need to clear the radio button as well. So yeah, I'm stuck on that.
You created radio button for the form.
Yeah, yeah. So for the
And
rating purpose, yeah, and like I need to clear the radio button on every transaction in added.
yeah, yeah. You mean you have some radio buttons here. When you select it,
Yeah, yeah,
it is not cleared when you submit it, right? Something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Maybe we will deal with that one. We need to implement that one here. Okay, we will have
Yeah.
one step to clear that radio button, or we will attach something here to clear that radio button.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, that's
the
great.
main takeaway is check the value. If it is selected, there is selected property.
Hmm.
If it is selected, then we'll make it true. If it is not selected, then we'll make it false. We'll attach one another property here and make it true and false.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, this. You want to ask me something? Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to complete this CSS part. Okay. Let me know if you have some issue. Maybe you can ask me some of your issues that you are facing. All right, everyone. I think you are doing. Let me assist you. If you have some issue here, we need to apply some CSS in feedback form. So look at the CSS. Look what is used in feedback form first. Inside feedback form, we have input, we have form. Maybe we need some CSS for input and form. And that input may be used in any other files as well. For example, currently maybe we are, yeah, here as well. We are using input here as well. That's why instead of putting this in feedback form.module.css, uh, keep it on index.css because that is like global one we are using in multiple component. So we will only grab those CSS having classes there. Okay, classes from our index.css. In feedback form, instead of wrapping this with div, maybe we can wrap this with card. This is just practicing. Okay, you can still wrap it with div, but if we wrap it with card, then that feedback form will be inside card as well. So, oh, do we have some more issue here? Once again, we have issue with card. Oh, it is not important. Yeah. Now you can see our feedback input field is also wrapped with card. This is actually what I mean by shared or common component. Now you can hello guys. Sorry, I think I lost my connection in between. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Need to once again use this monitor. So yeah, here what I did is used that reusable card component for input fields as well as form. Now we have form here and input fields here. So in this way, we can supply some of the CSS. Okay, just try to complete it, guys. And then after this one is done, we are going to introduce something called styled components. I told you previously, if you remember, there is a better way of writing CSS. Instead of CSS module, we have something called styled components. We will install this package that is not actually available in React. That is not a feature of React. That is a third-party library, or you can say it is a small package, which is helping you to write your CSS in better way. So we will now use style component after this is done and implement the same CSS in style components. All right. So yeah, I'm just waiting here. If it is finished, then we'll continue together. Okay. And do you need some more time to implement CSS here for each and every component, or is it finished from your side? Are you doing together with me, guys, or should I continue here? What is your current status? Maybe Sahas, Priyanka, we have more participants here today.
Yes, I actually haven't finished it yet, but like I've got the memo and I am confident that I can like do it on my own though.
That's great then. Yeah. Then, if you don't have any question, then let me start style component here. Okay. So, but you need to finish the CSS part. Okay. Just try to finish the CSS part. We need to do something here as well. This is not good, right? The ratings and input fields, the CSS are not properly applied here. So let me commit it until now. We have card added in this input form, right? Let me commit this one. Now let's go and do things with the style component. Style components is, I think, the standard nowadays to write CSS in React. So it is like writing CSS in perfect way with React actually. So if you use some other packages or libraries or CSS frameworks, then you can still use styled components within your project. I've seen many companies are using, like, there is a is also using style components behind the scene. But once again, they are using their custom style, writing their custom styles with the style components. So later we will use this package to add CSS in a better way. There is other one like Tailwind CSS. There are actually many CSS frameworks. We can see there is like Chakra. There are many others. We'll see those later. Okay, these are frameworks, or these are packages where CSS is already written for you. You don't have to write most of the CSS part. CSS is already written. You need to just implement it, use it. Okay, but with style components, it is helping you to write CSS in a better way. CSS is not written here. This is just uh, like CSS module, but we will write CSS in a better way with the style components here. All right, is this fine? Okay, just give me a few seconds. Let me. So let me join with other screen here. Okay. So this is just, I told you this is just a package. You find all the packages in Yarn PKZ, right? You can go here and search for styled components. This is a really popular one. You'll see here, style components. And you just need to install it. Just copy this command, go to your code, open your terminal, go to your project if you have different folder, then install it here by writing that command. This command is here, okay, in the style components here. So here we are installing this style components package. Maybe you can try with me, try installing it. You can do it separately, okay? It doesn't have to do anything with your existing CSS. So you can continue installing style components and complete your CSS part later as well. So in my case, it is already installed. If I go to package.json, I'll see here a package called style components is installed. So now let's go and use this style components package then. So let's go with the card component. We have written CSS for card.module.css, CSS for card inside card.module.css, right? Maybe we can use this CSS in a better way rather than using module.css. Here you can see the documentation of style components. Maybe I need to go back. So I think I need to search for style components. Here you can see it's really simple actually. So what you need to do is go to your component. We will later place it somewhere else. So now I'm doing here inside this component, or I can do it outside here as well. Make a variable. This is like a acting like a global variable, but it is not a global. Make a variable called card here. And you need to use something called style. Where is it coming from? It is coming from style component itself. So you need to import it. You need to import it. So you need to import styled. Let me do it above. Styled from style components here. Okay. And now we will use it. Okay, what happened here? I haven't completed. Now we'll use that styled. So this is just a variable. You can name it any other name as well. Now, to which tag this style variable imported from style component is going to be used. Now we are trying to replace this div with card, let's say. So it means we need to write div here. You can write any other HTML tag here, h1, h2, right? Main or header or footer as well. But you need to write style, which is coming from style components. So now we have a special character called backtick, right? We used it with template literals, right? Backtick, just below your escape key on the keyboard, you need to use this backtick. This is called tagged literal syntax, actually. So in JavaScript, so you can use this backtick here, and now you can write CSS inside here. Now I'm going to copy the CSS inside car.module.css here. Copy this all CSS. Go here, and inside here, I will now paste this CSS. Okay, you can see. Oh, sorry, I think I disconnected. You can see here the CSS are written inside this tagged template literal syntax or backtick, you can see, and that is what we are also doing. Okay? So it means now can I remove this card and use okay, this is okay. Can I remove how can I use this card then? So previously, this is now a better way because it is using the feature of React actually. Now guys, can you hear me? Yeah. Am I audible, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was doing here is I removed this part. I don't have to import it from CSS module. Then I'll not use it in this way. Now what we will do is we change this div to card here, something like that. Now replace this div with card. This is really Really simple, right? Let's just deal with card and looks clean as well. We don't need to deal with those classes anymore now. It is really clean, right? We are using card here and CSS for card is here. Let's see if I save it, will it work or not? Oh, it is breaked now. It's not working. Something is wrong here. So it says card has already been declared. Where? Oh, here. This is the same name. We need to change it, maybe. So this is card wrap or something like that. Card wrapper. And replace this with card wrapper. Save it. Now it is the same thing. Okay. So this is now better way of dealing with CSS. You can see the difference here. Maybe I'll show you the difference. Yeah. Previously, what we were doing is actually writing the class name here with div. Now we are just using it like this is acting like a React component, right? Like a React component here. Inside we have a children. So that's why it is better than writing CSS inside CSS module. So you don't have to put this in the same file. You can create another folder called, let's say, styles. And in there, let me go and put styles with card component. Card here, we have card, and in there, I'm going to use card.js. This is located inside card, right? Card.js. And let's go to card here. Import this from here. And this needs to be here. Or maybe you can put the CSS in each and every file, or you can still separate it. Now you need to export it from here. Export this CSS. Now let's go into card once again and import it. You can just import it here. It is coming from card and card. Oh, now it is not working. Let's see what happened here. Something is wrong. Style is not defined. Okay, we don't have style in card in here actually. Right here, we are using style, but we are not defining it. We need to define it. We need to import style from style component. Now it should work. Okay, we have some warning here. It says React does not recognize busy color prop on the DOM element if you intentionally want it. Maybe we need to change it later. It is assuming that this is the default prop in the DOM element, but our card component is working here. So we have now we will put all our CSS, okay, that is required for our application inside styles folder, creating their own folder. Like regarding card, we will use we'll put CSS here. Regarding feedback, we'll create another folder like feedback. And we'll put all the CSS regarding feedback inside feedback folder. Now all our CSS will be here inside styles. Instead of putting the CSS, we can separate this as well, CSS module, put them in other respective folders. But using style components is like using React, using it with in React way. We have like card wrapper here, right? Instead of writing div, this is card wrap. This is a wrapper here, simple wrapper. So this is actually the style components. This is a simple, the basic fundamental or the way how you use style components. There are more things in style components, like you can also accept props. Like let's see, where, yeah, here we can accept some props as well. Maybe we can pass something here, card wrapper. Maybe let's say background color or BZ color, something like that. And let's make it pink or We have white. Okay. So we will accept that busy color prop. Now it is like a React. We cannot do that with our CSS module. Like now we are passing busy color prop to our CSS here. Now we can use background color dynamically. Sometimes this one. Otherwise, if you have this coming from props, let me copy this code here, and I'm going to remove and paste this. So we are accepting props, and okay, so it is, we don't need to actually add this part, the later part, and it needs to be okay, we can make this one as well. We need to close it. So let's accept prop, and prop contains busy color. And let's see busy color. Okay. And it says may not exist on type. Okay, maybe we'll see that one regarding JavaScript. And let's see if it is. No, it is not. We are assuming that something is coming from props here. And we are passing this busy color, but it seems to be not applying that busy color here. We are passing this pink, and it should actually replace this entire one with that pink color. Or maybe this is missed here. Okay, yeah, this small syntax was missed. Now we are accepting props here dynamically. So if this is, let's say we want this to be pink and this to be white, then we will go to the feedback list, or where we have used that card component in the feedback itself here. So we have used this card component here. So, but this is regarding CSS. The card component is different one. We will accept, let's say busy color, and we are passing white here. Now we are passing white to card component. We need to accept it in the card component. It is located here. Now we haven't accepted it, right? So let's accept busy color. So let's do one thing here. Here, what we want to do is conditionally send, okay, at this location. Actually, we need to go inside JavaScript at this location. So what we want to do is, if there is busy color coming, then send that busy color. Otherwise, send the default one, let's say pink color. If we don't have that busy color, then we will set the pink color from here. Okay, now something is not working once again. Maybe I need to in this one. Okay. And this is not using, we are not using template literal here. We need to actually use it inside template literal. Okay, let me save it now. Now it is using pink color for this one. If there is busy color, then use background color. Otherwise, use pink color. And it is accepting background color for that feedback. Right, this one is accepting green. Maybe it is not properly used here. Green color.
Gaurav, why do we need the backtick here?
Right here.
Yes. Is there a need for us to put the backtick?
No, actually, if you remove this part, we can still write CSS, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, presumably, if we remove the backtick.
Right. Because we are still in the JavaScript. We can use JavaScript there. Yeah, we don't need backtick right here. Correct. Yeah. So I was assuming that we are not inside JavaScript, because we are already inside JavaScript here with this curly brace. Means we can use directly JavaScript. So yeah, in this way, we can tweak our application, make some reusable things more reusable. Now, this is a car component and this one is also car component, but it is using pink color, it is using white color. Now, depending upon our requirement, we can use that car component however we want. Okay, so this is the power of style components. Now we can use our JavaScript inside CSS. Until now, we haven't used that, right? Now, what we can do is use JavaScript inside CSS. We are using JavaScript here inside CSS. This is a great benefit actually. Okay, maybe you need to look at the style components for some time, or practice it yourself, and maybe it will make more sense. Any question, guys, until now? Did any of you use style components in your project sometimes? Have you used it already?
No.
Okay, then this will be great experience then, because style components is what you need to know as a React developer. This is a really important concept to style your application, just for the mostly for the CSS purpose. Okay. All right, then just look at this CSS, try to use it yourself. Maybe I'll not do it today. The CSS portion, we need to actually finish something here as well. Let's go and do it. Okay. So let me first commit this one. So we have used style components. Now let's go and complete this form part. Okay, just give me a second here. All right, so let's continue. So I think I need to start it once again. Let me see my screen. I need to start this live server once again. Okay. So, there. Okay, so let us complete this feedback form part. I think rating part is remaining, right? Did you try to complete it yourself? Was it working? Any of you? Okay, then let's do it then. So you need to replicate the same settings for all of these input fields here. Like we have value here, we'll need value later. So we have something like, for input fields, we have something like checked. For example, so this is not visible here. Right? Our let me see. It is visible, but the color is, I think, opacity 0
I
is
think
used
its
to.
opacity is 0.
Yeah, what was that?
Opacity 0, does it matter?
It is not visible currently because this is on our CSS, I think, right? This is coming from here.
Yeah.
I haven't used CSS properly. That's why it is not working. You need to actually correct it. You need to change the CSS settings. For now, I'll make this opacity 1. So, or I can go in my CSS file here and here I have opacity 0 somewhere here. That's what was not visible. So I'll go to rating once again. So we have value here. Like for input fields, input checked, we have something called checked attributes in input. This checked attribute, pre-selected checkbox, input checked. Okay. So I was assuming that it is already used. Maybe let me see. Last one is this one. We have checked here, so that's why it is checked. If I remove this one and run this, it is not checked. Okay. So it means we can check and uncheck. For example, if I write checked here, let's see. Let me save it. Now it is checked here. You can see it is checked. So I don't have to check it all the time, right? I will check it whenever. That's why yesterday I'm discussing about something called controlled inputs. We are controlling this input with this value prop. This value is changing, right? So we have this value 1 here. So we will actually check and uncheck depending upon our selected status, if it is selected or not. So, but we don't have. Do we have some settings to save the selected here? Oh no, we have ratings, but not selected. Maybe let's have another state. That state will actually save the status of your selection. So const selected and or we have ratings as well, right? Ratings is also storing your rating. Maybe we don't need this one because we have rating. Whenever you click here, rating will be updated because we have this handle rating input, which is updating your rating. So maybe we can use this existing rating instead of writing our one state. I think it will be good instead of making many other states. So what we will do is if our rating is equals to the value that we have here, that is 1. If our rating is 1, then it will be selected. Otherwise, it will not be selected. So let me refresh it. Currently, it is not selected. So let me make it 1 initially. Initially, I'm making this 1. Now it is selected, you can see. So it means we are checking it depending upon our selection value. We'll not write it at first. We will actually update it from set ratings. For example, if you click here, now your rating is 1. That's why it is selected. If you click here now, once again it is selected because we haven't updated the rating here from the second input. Let's do it now. So we have type attribute, value attribute here to store the value. Type radio means like this radio button. So let's we can have the name as well because that CSS maybe sometimes or we can have better accessibility here. So we have onChange prop, ID prop, and onChange prop is really important. ID is required for this one and this one to be connected. Checked is required for this one not always to be checked. We will click here on 2 and this should be removed from here from 1 rating. Okay, let's copy and implement the same rating, same setting here as well. Now we have this value 2 and type is radio, name is rating. Okay, everything is fine, but this should be 2. And you can make this ID different for each and every, like num2. And you need to use this HTML4 attribute. This should be num2. Now let me refresh it. Now let me click here. It is selected. Let me click here. Now it is deselected, right? Not selected. Clear. So this is the issue someone is facing, right? Previously, if you click here, now every individual will be selected depending upon the status. Why this is happening? Because checked is going to be false here when I click here on 2. That's why it is false, means it will be not selected. Okay, it is really easy now. You need to copy this for each and every input. So you need to go here as well. Most of the time, if you know one technique, then it will most of the time be reused. Maybe we are doing copying this all the time. Maybe you have better way of doing it instead of writing it, right? Maybe you can create some function for it. For now, I'm just copying this for all the inputs. So then every input will have different value now. 1, 2, and this will be 3, and this is 3. I deleted that one as well. We need this one. So this one and this one should be 3. And this one should be 3. If I save it now, if I go and click here, it is working here. Oh, if I click here, the last one is selected. Let's see what is wrong with this one. So last one, we have num2 here as well. That's why it is selected. We need to first rename everyone. We have 1, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, right? This should be 4. So we are starting ratings from 1 to 10. So this should be 4, and we need to have a label here as well. And label should contain this HTML4 attribute having this value 4. 4 is here, okay? 4 is also working. So this is now repeating, right? Everything is repeating here. So num5. Maybe in your leisure time, try to reuse this. Try to just write one UL and one input tag. Do not write 10 input tag, and try to create a function which will dynamically generate this 10 inputs. Maybe that will be done easily instead of writing it all the time. So yeah, we have 5. Finally, we need this label as well for 5. Okay, it should come, not working here. Why this 5? Oh, it is working. Finally, we need to make this workable for each and every input. Otherwise, it will work for some inputs, it not works for some input. So finally, 7 and 7 here, and this is now 7. So okay, let's make it 8, and this is 8, and this is 8, and this is 7 actually. This is 6. So maybe I may be doing something wrong here. Just correct me if it is not correct. Okay. So finally 9, and this should be checked with 9, and our label should be there to see the ratings, right? This is for us, and this is for React. So this is num 9. This is also for us to click. And finally, the last rating, we have 10. This is for React actually, right? And none. This is for us because we want this label here. We want to associate it with a label. So num 10, and this one is for React. This one is for us. So we have ratings starting from 1 all the way to 10. Now you can select 1, 2, each and every ratings are now selected. You can see this background is also there, each and every rating. Okay, now we successfully created ratings, and now they are available in the rating state here. All right. So let's try to send it then. Let's try to create a rating for of 5, and this lesson is 5 lesson, like that. Let me click on submit, and we have 5 rating. You can see 5 rating is coming here and our text. Right. So yeah, we successfully implemented this rating as well. This is not that much complex, right? Do you want to ask me something here? Everyone? Any question? So then let me let me post this code, and maybe we can take some break and continue after break. Continue to do something after break. Okay. So do you have some questions before going into break? All right, then I'm going to send this code to GitHub. We have feedback rating. We implemented this rating. So let's have some break around 10 minutes, then we'll continue after break. Right. So yeah, I'll meet you after 10 minutes, guys.
Was the 2022 was the 20 Think about it. Yeah. Well, if you think if he plays in MLS for the next 3 years, there's a World Cup in the States. Right there. They come asking. Let's think about it. Un poco caliente por el final, pero Maestro, siga así.
All right, everyone. Shall we start now? Are you here, everybody? I think I need to wait for more time, right? Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, shall we start then?
Yeah, good. Yes.
Okay. Let's complete this one. You can see my VS Code, right? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, then maybe we need to add some reusable components, more reusable components like buttons. We will use buttons all the time, right? Yeah, try to use CSS as well. Okay, for example, currently CSS is not used and this is not good, right? For example, let's go to feedback form and to this input field. Do we have button here? To this input field and button. Let's wrap this input field and button within a div and let's give it a CSS, let's say. Maybe we have input CSS somewhere. I need to go there once again. Here, input groups. Okay, we have this input groups. Let's grab this one and apply the CSS here. I save it now. Now you can see this is done. So we have some CSS for button as well. If I go and type btn, I have this CSS. Oh, I can use this class now. I can now go here with button and class name equals btn. If I save it now, okay, now you can see there is a submit button which is initially okay, it is activated. Color is not that much great here. maybe we'll do something there. But yeah, let's rather than writing, okay, we'll create some reusable CSS. Instead of writing button here, we'll use reusable CSS here. All right, let's go to rating as well. Maybe let's apply some CSS for ratings as well. And I think that will make this rating looks slightly better. Put this in horizontal direction. To do that, I have used this UL tag for each and every ally tag. I don't need to use this UL tag for each and every ally tag. Let me remove an UL and okay, I have UL but no LI. Okay, I need to add that one as well. All right, let me remove this one, and this one. So, oh, that's for others. Okay, so I wrap this UL starting from here, and now each and every input field should be wrapped with li tag instead of that UL tag. Maybe previously I have to do something like, see if I can do something easily, because I don't want to go and write there. So what I can do is for UL, all of the UL tag, let me select all of this UL tag here. They all selected now. This and replace them with li tag, and let me go and wrap this all within UL tag. Okay, now I have list inside another list here. One list. List. Okay. So yeah. This is okay for now. Label and list and label. Now I can attach some styles here. Maybe I have something for rating. Rating class is here. And this is for breakpoints and ratings is here as well. Let me apply that rating class here. Let's save it now. Now you can see it is slightly better, right? And I just applied the CSS from here. So now I don't need that opacity. Let's go here and find that opacity. Opacity 1 is not needed. Let me make it 0. Now it is good, right? Looks better. Some animations there as well. So if I click on 1, now each and every will be clicked once they are selected. All right. I don't know, the input field is not applied any. I think input CSS is not working here. That's why we're seeing this placeholder background white there. Maybe we can fix that as well, but it is looking okay for now. So if you are using multiple locations, the same buttons, then you can create a reusable button component here as well, like button.jsx, and this will contain that button. Where is that? That is coming from. Let me remove this all for now. This is coming from here. I'll cut this one from here and paste it to here. So this is a reusable button component. Sometimes it will be submit button. Sometimes it will be a simple button. So you can accept type here as props. You can accept children here. Let me accept children first. Instead of writing submit here, I'll write children. Right, children. And disabled is okay, but I need to grab that is disabled prop as well. And class name as well. Maybe maybe we can grab some class name, but for now, BTN class name is okay. It is coming from that global class CSS. Now it will not work. Button is not there. I need to go back to here. Here was our button, right? Now we have a reusable button. It is imported here. Is it imported or not? I think not, right? Go and type. It's not imported means something is. It should be imported actually. It is inside common folder. Somehow it is not importing that button. Let me write it on my home. Coming from button. And now we are able to use this button here. And what was the text? Submit. And it is once again the same thing, right? It is once again the same thing, but we are now using a reusable button. This looks better, right? Now we can pass some children here. It will by default use its one setting. If is disabled is not there. Otherwise, we can also send is disabled as well, because we have is disabled, right? Is disabled here. We can send is disabled here as well. All right, in this way, we can refactor our existing application. We created another usable component. You can create as many as you want and place it in some separate location. Use it in your application. Any question, guys, until now? No questions? Is this fine? Let me know if you want to ask me something or if you have some request. Maybe I can re-explain it once again. And please visit bootcamp portal once if you have some time. Okay, there I have added some resources for you as well as some assignments. Okay, to visit that one, you can send me a message or in the WhatsApp group or on the team if you have some confusion. Okay, I have attached some resources for you there as well as some assignments for you as well. All right. So okay, we have input here, rating here. Maybe we can display. Maybe we can display total feedbacks. There are two feedbacks currently, total feedbacks as well as average rating here, right? So can we do that? What do you think? How can we display total total feedbacks that we have? We want to show total feedbacks here on the bottom. On the right, we want to show like feedback, average feedback rating. Do you have some idea how can we implement that?
Can we put it under like count?
Under where?
Count. So like each time like the feedback get generated, like we just increase the count.
Count.
I
Count
mean
means we
feedback,
don't have anything like count here.
like a feedback, and like if you want to show average, then you can just like calculate the average and show average as well.
Okay, but let's start together then. Let me comment this one. That done in this particular comment. So what should I do? I need something here. I need to display something here. Let's display hello here first. How will I display hello here on the button right here? Any idea? I want to display text called hello on the bottom. Yeah. Somebody is actually helping me. Can you please once again tell me how to do that?
We can add one more wrapper card and then like put something like p tag or s1 or anything and just write hello.
Okay. Let me ask you. Oh, I think I once again lost this one. Let me ask you one question here. Currently, on the screen, how many components can you see here on the screen? How many components are there? 4?
Three.
3, okay. Or more than 3. So 3 means, can you tell me why these are 3 components here?
Well, I think
One
the
is-
last two are repeated, are reused, right?
Okay, yeah.
And we can still use the React developer tool to check it as well, right?
React what?
The React developer tool that you made us
Okay,
install.
yeah, we'll go there. We'll go there. Let's try to first see ourselves. Maybe we can make some sense from our idea as well. And we'll go there as well. So let's count then. We have something here. Is this a separate component on the top?
Yes, the header.
And this one?
The
Yes.
Yeah.
feedback form.
What is the name of the component? This one?
Fe- feedback form.
Feedback form, okay. And are there other components used with feedback form?
Yes.
I'm just
The
circling it from here. And this is not
that,
feedback form, right?
that's actually a card.
Yeah, this is a card component. Okay, this is a card component. And inside card component, are we rendering other components or are they simply HTML elements? So this one, is this a component?
Yes, the feedback rating.
Yeah, this is a feedback rating component. So we are rendering feedback rating inside card then. So is this another component then?
It's a
This
component under feedback rating.
Yeah, what was that?
It's a component under like feedback rating.
Okay. This input is inside feedback rating.
Yeah.
Feedback rating is starting from here until here only, right? These are available 10 inputs inside feedback rating. This is a separate rating, a separate input, which is not inside feedback rating.
Can you like maximize your code as well? Like, because in line 41 we can only select feedback rating, not the closing argument.
So let's go to feedback rating here. We have this div tag, we have this UL, you have this li. So this here, from here to here, is this part, right?
Okay, yeah.
Right. So where is this coming from?
It's a plain it's a plain input tag. Just the HTML tag inside the card wrapper.
It's under like form tag. I mean like below feedback.
Feedback form, I think, right? Feedback form component, right?
Yeah.
So it means directly inside card, okay, then this is card component as well as a feedback form component. We have feedback form here as well. And inside feedback form, we have a rating. And this is a part of feedback form, right? So it means inside feedback form, we have a separate component for rating. This is not a separate component, but this one is a separate component, right? The submit button. Do you think so?
Yeah, can you open the other one?
Let's go.
Other page.
This one.
Yeah.
Here, we have a card component. So inside feedback form, we have a card component then, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Feedback form component contains the card component. As well as, and that card component is containing the rating actually. The rating is a child of card component. That's why we accept the children in the card. As well as the button here. This is another component.
Yeah, that's a different component.
Then can you count the unique components that are used here? How many unique components can you see on the screen? Unique means this is button, sorry, this is card, this is card, this is card. This is a one component, right? So how many total components can you see?
Just under that feedback.
No, on the screen, on the browser here, not on the code. Can you count it yourself first? Then we'll see on the React Developer Tools as well.
I
This
think
is
it's
a header component, right? One
7.
component. Yeah, how many?
More than like 7.
Right. This is the header component, and this is a feedback form component. And we have card component as well as feedback rating component here.
Yeah.
As well as button component.
There's
right?
button.
Right. As well as inside card here, we have a feedback component. Am I correct?
Yes.
If you go to feedback, we have inside, oh, actually card is inside feedback component. So let's see in the React Developer Tools then. This is just practicing something. You don't have to count in your real life, okay? This is just visualizing something and trying to actually make sense from the code to the output. Let's see on the React Developer Tools. Maybe I need to put this one here. Let me copy this one. So you can see this orange color React logo means this is on the development mode. Later you will see blue color logo means on the production mode. So now here are the available components that we are using there. These are the unique components. So some of them are repeated, like we have something like context. Are we using context somewhere? We are not, but some of the packages that we are using is using context behind the scene. So let's see why here we have a lot of components, because we count lesser components previously. So maybe I can put this on the left here. And on the right, we have our application. Okay. So app component is there, right? When we start working, everything is inside app component. Everything. That's why if you add something in app component, this will spread to every other components as well. That's why later we will supply something from context from the app component or index, because app component is the topmost one. It's like a root of a tree, you can say. Now these are the branches. So this is a header component that we have here. Right? Where is it coming from? It is coming from this app component here. Here you can see header is there. Just below header we have feedback form, because it is inside app component as well. Feedback form. So let me collapse this one for now. And just below feedback form we have feedback list. It is inside app component once again. That's why in our app component, we are rendering 3 components. These are the 3 components that you can see, right? 1, 2, and 3. Now you need to say in respective with other component. That's why, and then you can count it. In respective to app component, with respect to app component, we have 3 components. Direct side of the app component, header, feedback form, and feedback list. Now header do not have children components, but feedback form is once again containing other children components. Let's go to feedback form here and just click here, and inside feedback form you can see we are using card component. So let's see. Yeah, we are using card component inside feedback form, right? We are using card component. Let's go to feedback list. This one inside feedback list, we are directly not using components, but here we have a feedback components inside a div. So that div will not be visible here, but that feedback component will be visible. So inside this feedback list, we are rendering these feedback components. Those components which are rendered will be visible, okay, directly inside that component. So directly inside feedback list, we are rendering feedback. But we have only one feedback. Why you can see 2 feedbacks here inside feedback list?
Because we mapped it.
Yeah, we are mapping it and it is generating 2 components, right? So, and let's go once again. Inside feedback form, we have card, right? Direct component, which is used inside feedback form. Once again, inside card, we are using something like, let's go to feedback form. Inside card, we are using something, okay, we are here. We have, where are we? Feedback form, inside feedback form. Okay, inside card. So inside card, we have something like style.div. So can you guess why is that? Style.div is coming from, let's go to card component then. Here we are using card wrapper once again. This is like another component, and card wrapper is using that. I just want to go there, not able to travel. Okay, now it is using style.div. That's why you are seeing this style.div inside card component. Okay, if you expand this now, now only we have this feedback rating inside that style.div, because that card component is actually using style.div. That's why it is this everything here will be inside that style.div. So that's why this feedback rating that you can see here is inside style.div, as well as button, another component that we have. We have 2 more components. Feedback rating, we don't have any component inside feedback rating, right? If I go to feedback rating, I have no component here used. That's why the chain is completed now. We have no components remaining. Inside button as well, we have no other components. If I go to inside button, we don't have any components there. That's why it is also completed. So inside feedback list, we have feedback. If I go inside feedback, feedback is once again using card component. Let me collapse this one. So let's go to feedback. Feedback is using this card component. So card component is actually this card function or component is using this style.div, which is inside card wrapper. That's why you are seeing that is style.div here. And inside style.div, once again, we have something. Let's go to feedback. Once again, we have something like this. This is a component, right? So it is icon coming from React icons library. So package, you can say, and this is a component. That's why you can see FA times here. FA times is, this is the component which is used by FA times itself. Okay, this is done. This is implemented by FA times. We haven't done it, because we imported the library. So library contains this icon base and context, something like this. This is behind the scene, which are the components which is used by this FA times by that React icons package. So in this way, you can inspect available components in your screen from this React developer tools.
Guru,
All right.
why is card wrapper not being listed as a component?
Yeah, card wrapper is um, here, right? Here. So card wrapper is just the name that we provided, but actually it is using that style.div because it is related to style components. That is how it is made. Okay, because we are using third-party package, which is called style component here inside card wrapper. Let me go to styles here. Card wrapper. So it is implemented by style components. We are using third-party package, and it is treating whatever you are writing this as a component. The name can be anything. That's why you are seeing that style.div here, because this is how it is implemented. We are not implementing this package ourselves, right? That's why it is displaying this style.div. It will not display whatever you write here. That's how it works actually. Okay, but if you are writing your one component here without using style.div, then it will show this component name. All right, is that fine?
Yes, Guru, we got it.
So any more questions, everyone? So just try to see what are the, what is happening here. Refresh this one. Okay, just try to see the props used there. Here in the app, we are using hooks, which is a use state hook. And that use state hook is using this initial feedbacks here. You can see on the real time, if you delete this feedback, that will be reflected here. And something is deleted from here as well, the second feedback, right? So just travel through multiple components and see what is coming here. Now, this feedback form is using use state hook here. So this feedback form is using many use state hooks. Just go there and see. So this may be something regarding that is disabled. Maybe someone is some state is for rating. And card is using something some children here. So this S3 is coming here. So if you delete this one, you can see it is gone. So you can just hit and try something here, okay? Sometimes, and see what is happening there. Right, this is where you will inspect something regarding React. If you want to inspect your DOM, then you need to go to elements here. So you will see all the elements, all the HTML tags used. This will not show your React components, but it will show the final compiled version of your React. But if you want to see something regarding React or inspect the React components, then you need to go here. All right. I'm going to close this one right now. If everything is fine, guys. Do you want to ask me something?
Guru, what is the plus E thing in the feedback rating?
Where on the feedback rating?
Yes, in feedback rating.jsx in line number around line number 7 or 8.
Yeah. Oh, this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we are just converting whatever the rating. The rating is actually coming from here. This will be the data type will be by default string. When some input field is coming or some buttons is clicked and the value is coming from there. So we want to convert it to number data type. So that's why I put this plus sign. This plus sign will simply convert your string to number.
would it would it would it be, can we always do it in JavaScript,
Yeah, we
or
can
did we
always.
only do it because it was an event?
No. If it can convert, for example, you need to have number in this format, like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a string, right?
Yes.
So if it can convert, it can see numbers there, then you can simply use plus sign here and convert this string to number in JavaScript all the time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You can put this in a number function as well. There is a number function already available. You can either do this one or do this one.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So any more questions, everyone? So I was asking you one thing previously, if you remember. I just want to place one component here. That's why I asked you to visualize how many components do we have. So just tell me the location. Where should I place the component? Let's say that I created one component here. Where should I render that component so that I can see here? Should I render it in feedback form or feedback rating? We have a lot of components, right? Feedback or buttons or app. Where should I render that component so that I can see the content here?
App.jsx.
CSS, because it is rendering header is this one, feedback form is this one, and feedback list is this two. So now we will create another component called, let's create it, feedback stats. And we will render it inside app component right here. We need this component, and this is what you can see on the bottom now. Now we will work on that feedback stats only for now. What we want to do here is calculate the total length of the feedback as well as the average rating. So we will accept something. We will accept feedback here. So feedback needs to be sent from here. Let's send the feedback. We send the feedback. We are accepting the feedback. So instead of writing feedback stat here, can I go in JavaScript and write feedback.length, and it will give me the length of the feedback? What do you think? Would it work? Feedback is an array containing two objects currently. Yeah, do you think it will work?
Guruk, how is feedback an array again? Because like I just opened the file and it looks like.
Okay, so let's go here. This is feedback, right? Feedback is in this state here. This is feedback, and it is initially coming from feedback data, right? Here, let's go to feedback data. And here you can see feedback, an array containing two objects.
Okay.
Is that fine?
Yes.
We are importing the same feedback here, providing the initial value, and I'm passing the same feedback to the feedback stat from here. Now this feedback this is an array which contains two objects is available here. Now I'm writing feedback.length, L-E-N-G-T-H, length, and it should show me 2 here. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. We are seeing the total length of the feedback. Maybe we can do it. Maybe let me add one CSS. Going in index.css related to stats, there is a feedback stats class. Need to come here and add class name to feedback stats. It is not applying that CSS, I think. I don't know. Am I missing something here? Maybe this is color, justify space between align item center. So let's add background color. Oh, it is working. Okay. So we have this feedback.length. Maybe I can write something like inside here in as2 tag. So let's say feedback.length reviews. So I have 2 reviews here. So total 2 reviews. Let me add one more, 3, and oops. Good. And let me submit it. Now you can see it becomes 3 reviews. So this is feedback is updated in real time, and this is updated here as well. Okay, if I delete this one from here, it should come back to 2 reviews. Maybe we can calculate average rating as well. So so how can I calculate the average rating? What do you think? How can I calculate? I want to calculate the ratings from there.
We can map through each of the item in the array and destructure the rating value and then add it up and divide it by the length.
But the other way of doing it is we have something called, we used map method, right? We used filter method. So we used map method to map each and every element without adding or removing the length of the total length of an array. We used filter method to remove some of the elements from an array, right? We used filter method here to delete something, but we haven't used something called reduce method. So there is another method in JavaScript called reduce. I think we already did we use it sometimes in our session?
No.
This is like map filter, but slightly the syntax is slightly different. This is not what we need, I think. This is fine, but let's see. Okay, yeah. So with reduce method, what we will do is, let's put it here. Now we want to reduce this feedback. We will use reduce method with array only. Feedback.reduce, and now this reduce here you can see reduce is accepting my function. Let me copy this function from here and paste it here. I don't need the name of the function here. Maybe I can remove this function as well, this curly brace as well, right? This return statement as well, and implement arrow function, right? So total, and I have something called num and total minus number. So let's see the demo first. You can see I have 175. I think it is subtracting each and every time. So it is subtracting each and every time. And there is no initial value given as well. So let me see another example. I think we need to supply something as well as a second. We are supplying the first parameter only. Second parameter is not here. Let's see another example. This will, maybe we can see this one. This one is the website developed by Nepali community. Actually, maybe you can sometimes see their website. This is a highly popular one. So okay, here we have like accumulator and the current value. So the second parameter is also not here. Maybe let's do it. Yeah, initial value is written here, but it's not used, I think, right? reduce join string. Join string is, oh, here is the current value here. So what we can do is we will pass a function here. This is a function, and we will first write a function and then write initial value. So now our initial value is 0, and the function that we are writing is this one. Okay, and this one will take the initial value. This one, it is most of the time called accumulate SCC. And the second one, this one will take the current value. Current value is coming from feedback. Okay, so you can say this one is current value. So what we are doing is adding this accumulator with the current value. Current value means we need to grab the feedback from current value. Current value is pointing to that object currently, pointing to this object. If you know how to use map and filter method, then it is really easy. This will always point to the elements of that array, right? So what we will do here is access that rating from current value. So we are adding this initial value, current value dot rating. So this accumulator will be updated each and every time. Currently, it will become, what is our rating? Let's see, 5. Initially, it will become 5. Then it will add 5 plus 10, and now it will become 15. So in this way, we can calculate this total rating. Now total is here, and we already have this length. Let's store it in some variable called total reviews. Let's render this total reviews here. Now what we want to do is divide this result with this total reviews. We'll get the average, right? And now I'm going to store it in average rating. We have two variables here. Average rating is now going to be rendered here. Now let's see. Now you can see we have this average rating 7.5. Is that correct? This is 10 and this is 15, and the average rating is 7.5, right? Let's try adding some more. Maybe let's try adding 5 here. Average. I'm adding something random here. When I click here, now you can see we have total 3, but this doesn't look nice, right? So we need to do something there. We need to do something here. So while calculating this one, this feedback, what we can do is fix it to some place. For example, we calculated the rating until now, right? Now we can use a JavaScript function called toFix to position. So it will just show only 2 decimal until 2 decimal points. All right, you can try exploring other concepts regarding this available what we call function inside in number, because this is number, right? So yeah, you can do it however you want. Maybe you can tweak this function. Finally, our main goal is to print the average rating here. All right, this is how we created one more component displayed here on the bottom, which is calculating total number of feedbacks as well as average ratings here. Okay, when you delete this feedback, available feedback, then total feedbacks as well as average rating will be updated. All right. Is this fine, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, then this is what we need to do until now in this feedback application. Maybe now it is time to go beyond this static data, because currently if I add this feedback here, when I refresh it, it is not going to be stored, right? It is not going to be persisted. Now we'll implement, because in the real application, it will be saved in some database, right? Database, we will have some database which is storing our data somewhere. And then backend will query our database and write a function, and they will provide us that function. And that function is called API. We'll use a function written by backend developers, which is provided to us. We'll use that function. We call it API. We'll use API and query the required data from database via API. So currently we cannot do all the things here in this small project. We cannot implement real. It will be really confusing if we try to do that. That's why let's implement at least fake database, fake API. So now we are going to implement backend as well here together with frontend. So until now we are using this React application. Only now we'll implement backend as well as database concept here. But we will implement one package. We'll use that one package called JSON server to do this job, to actually supply some API for us, persist it when our application refreshes. Okay. Have you used JSON server package, any of you, sometimes while exploring some of the concepts? Do you know about? Yeah.
Yes, I had used it like last year while I was trying to learn Angular.
Yeah, most of the time when we are trying to learn something, we use that one because we don't have all the database to us, right? So yeah, that's great then. Maybe it will help everyone else as well. So let's comment this one for now. What did I do? I added this feedback stat component. So guys, how are you feeling with this project? Is it too complex, or are you missing something here? And do you have some suggestions? Maybe I can repeat it tomorrow if you have some suggestion. How are you feeling with the current project? Or do you want to practice yourself? Or if you have already practiced, do you have some confusion? Maybe some of you are watching, right? Do you have some suggestions? Is this becoming harder for you to understand, guys?
Guruk, with the CSS with the CSS codes, um, did you add the index.css like all by yourself there in the index.css file yesterday?
Index.css, yeah, there was index.css already yesterday.
That means like we just copied and pasted these things from
Into
some.
index.css, right? Right. It wasn't there yesterday. This code were not there actually. Okay. This is a project which is available in GitHub. So I copied the CSS from there actually. That's why I can do it here directly. Otherwise, we need to write it, right?
Yeah,
Will it?
and would you say like would it be possible for us to like write all those CSS from scratch?
Okay, that is also fine. So actually, we need to explore some of the concepts as well. So if you ask me to write this CSS and explain this, maybe we can remove this all and write this in their appropriate location as well, and explain it while we are doing. Maybe, for example, here we are using justify content space between and display flex. So what is flex here? Maybe we can have something like block or grid. We have those concepts. All right, then that we will do. Are any of you also suggesting to write CSS in the session? Do you think we need to do it together? It will take some time, but it will help us to understand CSS concepts there as well.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Okay, then let's do it then. Maybe we'll implement it tomorrow. But for now, you need to first look at these settings. What are these CSS doing? Just try to add some of the CSS from here. Try to see what are the effects generated by the CSS, and we'll explain it tomorrow. Okay, we have some weird syntax used here. Maybe we'll see what is that. Yeah, any other suggestion, everyone? Yeah, if you ask me, then I'll definitely try to help you. Okay, just try to send me some feedback. That's why we have this feedback app here as well. So yeah, just let me know if you need to customize this particular project. Maybe maybe you have some suggestion for me depending upon your understanding. Maybe you need to once again you can say that explain this project from start once again. Where did we start? Where are we going to end? What did we do until now? Maybe you may have some such kind of questions. I'm always expecting some questions. Okay, guys, let me
So
know.
I have like one question.
Yeah.
So basically, like we implement when I work, like we implement in like model view controller format. So are we like in the end, like are we going to do it in that way or?
Yeah, that is another good question, Pratik. So these are like patterns we used to follow as a developer. Like model view controller means something related to backend or front end. Did you use it in backend or in
No,
React itself?
use it. I mean, like I generally use it in not I mean like in the company, like we use in front, we use it in like front end as well.
Okay. So there are different patterns related to React. So this is just a random project we selected, and we are not strictly following the patterns. There are patterns to create these folders, to create components, to write the folder structure. So maybe we will explore those patterns and create another project. So there are some concepts regarding atoms and molecules. Some of the concepts in React, which is also popular. Yeah, the model view controller. Maybe we can see that as well. And there are patterns like which is developed by other companies. Like we have CSS frameworks generated by Material UI. We have other CSS, other React utility which are generated by other companies. And most of the developers around the world are following those patterns, which is because it is already invented, it is already developed, and it is successful. That's why most of us prefer to actually follow those things. Maybe we will see those concepts slightly later because we still need to explore some of the concepts which are remaining in React and beyond React. And then we'll see those patterns.
But Gorak, since we are just like dealing with React, it's just about the view, right? So until and unless if something else like Express or some sort of like backend code is involved, the view and the controller part would never be involved as it
Yes.
stands.
Yeah, that's why I was asking previously, did you use it in backend? So we will discuss it to the perspective of React, and we'll see that the view is a part of React, and model and controller are something away from it, but we can connect it.
So like what we used to do, like what we do is like whenever we write a function, so we call that in I mean like in the controller, like we define the function and we just call it from the view. I don't know like if they do it in the same way in React.
Here, we'll discuss when we discuss the patterns involved in React, right?
Okay, sure.
Maybe at that time, it will be easy for us because currently we don't have strong state management as well. So if these concepts are clear, then that is just the implementation, the practical way of implementing React. If you know the concepts, then it will be easy to follow those patterns. You can switch back and forth between multiple patterns. All right, so let me finally install that package and we'll end this session today here. And from tomorrow, maybe we will try to complete that API portion. We need to do CSS as well, right? Maybe we will discuss something regarding CSS. And we need to actually see implement context here in this application as well. Sometimes later. All right. So let's go and install JSON server package. So now you know, right? Where do we need to go to install packages that are required for our React application?
yarn.pkg.
Yeah, yarn pkg. Most of the time you will see this npm.js. You can just go here as well, but these are two different websites only. We are using yarn, that's why you are following yarn pkg. But if you see the package here, then it is just a difference in the command. The package name is same all the time. Okay, these and these are containing the same package reference. The installation command is only the different. So we need JSON server here. So it is like a fake REST API. So mostly it is dealing with this API, but we can store data in JSON server as well, using JSON server as well. We'll see. So let's install it in our application. Now, okay. So you can see the documentation, how to use. We don't know anything about new package, right? We always need to see the documentation. It says create a db.json file. Okay, let's create it on the root actually. So root means together with package.json. This is really easy if you follow the documentation. Okay, create db.json file with some data. Okay, some data are here. Let me copy this one, paste it. Okay, configure it. I want prettier to format this JSON and start a JSON server. Okay, we need to start another server. We have already started our React server here, but we need to start a JSON server. All right, so let me copy this one and paste it in the terminal and hit enter. It was trying to start it, but I think the port is already used. That's why it is not able to start. So we can actually change the port. If you search for port here, somewhere, maybe we can find it. Yeah, we can change the port for this command. So let's use that command once again. And port 3005, or let's say 8080. Now something is coming on 8080. Let's see what is that thing. So we have some URL here. Let me copy this one and paste it here. And can you see? This is like an API, right? We have our API directly here in our code. Previously, we used some API data from some external third-party URLs, right? Now we have here inside our application. So this is for post. We have for comments as well. That's why these are different URLs. So we have different APIs coming for different routes here. This is awesome, right? So let me delete this. I don't need this one. We need feedback actually. So instead of writing post, feedback, let's write feedbacks and let's grab that data from that data folder here. And we need this feedback here. I'm going to replace this one with the feedback that we have and save it. And it will not work now. Let's go to feedbacks, and here are our feedbacks. Now we don't need that feedback data. This is coming from our API. All right, this is what we need. So how can we actually use this feedback in our application then? If I remove this feedback data, our application will break actually, right? If I go to app.jsx, What do you think? How can I use this feedback if I remove this line of code?
You need to fetch it.
Yeah, we need to now fetch it. So that is what I want you to do first. Just try doing it yourself. We need to do it in we need to do it using some. This is synchronous or asynchronous? Fetching something.
Asynchronous.
It is asynchronous. Now we need to implement the concept of async await dot then, right? So now we are going away from our React application because these data are not in our React application itself. I assume that these data are located in some other database. This is like a database currently. Here we have db.json storing all the data that we have. Now try to fetch it yourself inside your app.jsx. And after you fetched your data, try to update this feedback. So initially we don't have any data. You can remove this from here, and if I save it now it is crashing. Something is wrong there. We are assuming that we have feedback here. So something is wrong. You need to actually work on some feedback list somewhere. Just okay. If I supply empty array here, it is working. Maybe we haven't validated that particular initial for that particular initial value, which is null. But currently it is working. We can see no data found here. Let's try to add something. Yes, it is working now. So this is fine. But now what you need to do is we don't have any feedback here. It is not coming from feedback data anymore. Now you need to implement fetch and set this feedback with the feedback coming from our API here. This one. All right. Do you think you can do that? So yeah, do you have some confusion installing this JSON server package that we used here? This is not that much difficult. You need to do is copy the command that we want to use. We want to use this command to install this package. We installed it, right? After installing it, we are following the documentation. So what we did is we created a db.json here together with index.html, and we copied this code, pasted it into db.json, and started our server. There are two servers running currently. This one is for API, you can say. Later you'll run two projects. One is for backend, one is for frontend. This one is for API. This one is a React application. And after we run the server, we are getting this API routes. So this is like a separate URL. There is a port which is different, right? So now we want to fetch data from here to our React application. So that is your work for today. Then we'll continue this session from here today, guys. Now let me commit this code. Yeah, I think this is all for today. We'll continue this one from here. We will implement context as well if possible tomorrow. Tomorrow we need to discuss with the CSS things as well, right? So can we end this session for today here? Do you have some questions for me, everyone? And check out the bootcamp portal as well, okay? There are some resources for you as well as assignments added, and try to submit it. Okay, so if you cannot find some, see your assignments are due for this date, maybe that is the holiday date, I think. Maybe I can expand the date later if you need. But these are really simple ones. You can do this in around 15 to 20 minutes, I think. Okay, maybe less than 1 hour. And just go to the portal and see some of the resources are there. Maybe those will be useful for you. Okay, so here are the assignments actually for you. And here are some of the resources for you regarding JavaScript. Most of them are related to JavaScript. And later, we started React, and we have something regarding React here as well. All right, so I have provided you some something to practice yourself. We have some exercise, we have some solution here. This is not your assignment, this is just to practice yourself. And these are not discussed, that's why it is hidden currently. So we'll implement TypeScript later. Now we'll see something regarding TypeScripts, and we need to see something regarding Redux as well. So we have something more to see. Here is one assignment regarding React. This is a quiz, and you can submit it in next month as well. So yeah, just look at the portal. There are some resources for you, and let me know if you have some questions. All right, so then can I end this session for today? Okay, everyone. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your response. So, goodbye, everyone. Have a good day. Good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Guru.
Like.
Thank you, Gaurav.